Leanne Tennant, welcome back to Australian Musician.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Yeah, Queensland has done quite well preventing a big outbreak of coronavirus. So how much of a lockdown did you have, and how did you get through it?
It's been okay. I've kind of enjoyed the slowing down, the kind of change of pace, and a little bit of my reclusive nature of being able to just stay at home and do other things.
Yeah.
So I've quite enjoyed it. We have had lockdowns and things like that. So I think, everyone that I know stuck to it, and we kind of just kept to ourselves, and it's that easing up a lot now. So yeah, some of the small bars are opening back up again, which is a good sign.
You've had quite a few things happening this year despite coronavirus. In March, you had a great night at the Queensland Music Awards. Yep. I saw photos of you hanging out with Amy Shark and Bernard Fanning. Tell me about that night.
It was a lot of fun. I probably had a little bit too much fun, I think. But, it's one of those things. It's so exciting to get an award, I think, and be recognised by your peers and in the industry. It just means such a lot. So I was celebrating in fine form, but it was great. Getting to meet people that Powderfinger were all I was listening to when I was growing up. So it was great getting to have a photo with Bernard Fanning and Amy Shark. I just love what she does. So it's a really nice gathering of artists and industry, just all celebrating music, really. Yeah. So it's good to be at that.
The year before, you won another award, the Carol Lloyd Award, which was a financial award. Did that help you with the finances for the new album?
Yes. Couldn't have done it without it. It was such an amazing thing to receive at that time. So basically, the Carol Lloyd Award paid for the recording costs, which kind of got bigger and bigger as I wanted to just try out more and more things. So I had the room to be able to do that with the Carol Lloyd Award, and then I sought some further assistance from Arts Queensland, who submitted some funding to me for the printing, to put it onto vinyl and to print it onto CD and have the artwork done, and some mastering costs and things like that. So yeah, a lot of great support from those two bodies, and eternally grateful for that.
Yeah, the album is called Happiness Is. It's out on July 9. Tell me about the title track and why it is the title track.
Well, Happiness isn't so much a track on the album, but I've kind of stuck to a bit of a theme with my albums of naming them not after a track, so they're just kind of a name. But Happiness Is. It was just something. The last 2 years of writing this record has just been some of the happiest times of my life, and it has been the most enjoyable process of writing an album ever. And I just didn't want it to end. It was such a great experience, and all of the songs, whilst they're not all happy songs, they all brought me feelings of happiness, or if I was feeling sad at the time, they made me feel happy after. And I was going through this time when I was writing it over those 2 years of just on my social media, just kind of reminding myself I was going through a bit of a growth process, and remembering, just the little things that make me happy. And that might have been living up in Far North Queensland, and you're going to sleep and you can hear the rain on the tin roof, and you can hear the sound of crickets outside. And so I started just posting things on my social network saying happiness is ... the sound of rain on a tin roof and crickets chirping at night. And I did that for over a year and a half, just for my own enjoyment. And the whole time doing this album, and then it just got to the end where I was deciding a name, and I just thought, that's what it is, these Happiness Is, this album. And yeah, there was no other name for it that came up with as high as that for me.
Yeah. The current single is Record Stores. Record stores also bring a lot of happiness to people. How did that track come about?
I was having a bit of a shitty day and was just, I can't even remember why it was particularly a bad day, but it just was. And I started kind of spiraling into, you know, instead of it just being about one thing, it was about 103 things. I'm a master at that. And I was, you know, going into it not a very good place, and so I decided to go and get a beer out of the fridge and pop on a record, and just instantly I felt better, just instantly. And later that day I wrote Record Stores just as a reminder with music, you know, it's so powerful, and it has the ability to make us feel sad if we want to feel sad, if we need a good cry. Well, you can just go and listen to something, you know, put on some Leonard Cohen and Nick Cave and feel, you know, introspective, and or you can, you know, go and put on the Preachers and go have a dance around your house, or, you know, some Neil Young and just feel at home. And it's so powerful, and we play it at our weddings, at our funerals. It's just there all the time. And so that's what that song was about, is just the power of music and how necessary it is.
And what are some record stores that you've enjoyed over the years?
I do like to make it a bit of a thing when I go away to visit a record store and buy a new record. But I'd say that two record stores that were close to my heart, one of them is shut down now, but in Brisbane, the Record Exchange. I basically grew up in that record store, and I'd go there after school and just sift through all their records. So that's shut down now, but Skinny's records as well, and Sonic Sherpa are great record stores that I love to go and visit. And everywhere I go, I try to drop into one somewhere.
Yeah. And what's an album that you played over and over and never got tired of?
That would be Neil Young's Decade. I just keep playing it and playing it and playing it. It's timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a track on the album called Overthinker. Overthinking is something we all do. Did you overthink the song, or did it come easily?
I'm still overthinking that song. It didn't. It's funny. Yes, parts of it came really easily. It was one of the, you know, first handfuls of songs, but finishing it took a long, long time. And I'm still, you know, there's still parts of me that are like, you know, it's, yeah, funny one, that one. I love it though, but yeah, I'm still overthinking it.
There's a great video for the track Till the Sun Dies, with some great surf footage. How did that come together?
I wanted to put together a music video for Till the Sun Dies, and Till the Sun Dies is about my desire to learn how to surf before I die. And I don't like being in front of a camera. And at the time, the COVID shutdown had happened, so I couldn't go anywhere and do anything. And so I was, you know, tossing around ideas. Do I just put up photos of sunsets or something like that? And Graham Ashton, who I've been working with for a number of years now at Footstomp Music, said, here, you should get in touch with my mate who's a pro surfer videographer and see if you can use some of his footage. So he put us in touch, and he had all this amazing footage that he'd shot, and of these just incredible women surfers, one from Australia, one from Brazil, Michelle Williams from Brazil, and Imogen Caldwell from Perth in Western Australia. And yeah, he just put together these amazing pieces of video in rhythm with the song, and it's one of my favourite film clips. I love it. It just makes me feel like I want to go out and surf, you know. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. Tell me about the guitars that you used on the album. Did you use that beautiful red Gretsch?
I used the beautiful red Gretsch, and I also used my little vintage Gibson, which I just love, that I picked up a couple of years ago. But yeah, they're both on the record. Yeah.
You're still playing through the Fender Princeton amp?
Yes, I am. Not on the record though, but I still play that at home and at gigs. Yeah, it's such a beautiful amp. I love it to bits.
Yeah. Have you acquired any new equipment since we last spoke to you?
I have gotten a couple of guitar pedals that I haven't really got my head around how to use, but one is I think it's called a twin Jack White used it. A twin valve or something it's called. It's very new, so I'm still working it. And then there's another little one which is a Violetta, and it's kind of like a reverb pedal, and it's tiny. It's from New Zealand, and it's about that big, and I love that. Yeah.
So are there some songs on this album that will take a bit of thinking to be able to play live? A bit of rearranging?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of them, the way that I'm approaching these songs, because I've always predominantly played with a live band before, and some of these songs aren't recorded as a live band. They're quite a lot of production on them. So what I do now is I play with two other guys, someone on drums, someone on the bass guitar, me on the guitar and vocals, and the drummer will use a trigger pad to trigger the tracks underneath, and then we will play the live instruments over the top of it. So you're still hearing all that kind of bedding from the studio coming through, which fills it out. Eventually, I'd like to get, more musicians in the live performance, but it's all money as well. Traveling around with a 6-piece band isn't necessarily very achievable, so it depends on the venue and the gig. But at the moment it's a trio, and I'm really enjoying this new way of playing things as well, to have that bedding underneath to make it nice and full. And
So what are the revised plans for 2020 and into 2021?
Well, taking it day by day, really, I guess. I had to cancel a lot of shows, as everyone did, but my tour is slowly being pieced back together. So I've got a show in Cairns that's sold out, and then a show in Brisbane that's going on sale soon, a show in Sydney that's coming up, and I'm trying to get one sorted out for Melbourne, and then a few others in between. So it's just really over the next few months trying to slot those in. And I guess, everything's changing. At the moment, I can't come to Melbourne. So, but in 6 months' time, I might be able to. So it's just one of those things that just have to play by ear, I guess.
Yeah. All right, Leanne Tennant, thanks for your time, and all the best with the album.
Thank you so much. It's really lovely to see you again.
Yeah.